Well, hey, everybody.
Hey,
Welcome to Come Out to
what's up,
Play.
y'all? Just the two of us.
Just the two of
We
us.
can make it if we try.
And we've got some stuff to do today. It's Jason. I don't know where Jason is. Welcome, everybody. I'm Jared Ulbrich, the art artist. This is my friend Delvin the Dark Web. We're going to be doing a live recording of Amazing Spider-Man Chronicles. Unfortunately, Pat won't be able to join us today. Well, I guess it's fortunate because his wife had some surgeries. It went well. He's taking care of her, so that's all good. That's what he's up to. I'm about to text the Weasel Skull. Just
I got you, bud. Do your. Oh, you're already texting?
Oh, yes.
Okay, I was gonna say I got it. I was gonna let you go ahead and keep moonlighting and not stalling for time. What's the word I want?
Vamping.
Vamping works.
Soft
Good
shoe.
word. I would not have thought of vamping. Vamping is a good word. And we got a couple of people on. We got Heinz Coke.
Hey, what's up, Heinz?
And AU Kathy. I guess I should be writing names. That's what I do, right?
You know what? I should let the listeners enjoy what we were listening to. Check this smooth track right here. That's what we're gonna do for the next hour and a half or so. Just listen to this. We are gonna talk about some Spider-Man.
Yeah.
X-Men.
X-Men.
See? It's all coming together.
Oh, man.
Anyways. Oh, there he is. There he is. He's coming in. I see.
I was gonna say we would have had to do a slapdash. A slapdash summary, but we don't have to do a slapdash summary anymore. Hot damn.
I'll tell you what. There's a strong percentage chance that Jason's still got that profile camera going.
I can't get it to stop. It did it again.
Sounds good. So that's good.
I can't figure it out.
We all got problems. I still haven't figured out my microphone thing. That's annoying as hell.
We're still doing a show.
We're still doing a show. I got on the plainest t-shirt. I slept in this t-shirt, y'all. I did.
This is a plain gray t-shirt. This is baggy as heck. This is what I was playing video games in.
Why doesn't it show this camera?
I've been tired all day too, man. Like, I worked out like pretty hard most of the week. I set a personal best in my squat on Friday. Squat for 605 pounds, man.
Don't you worry about it, Jason, because we're gonna go to four corners, and I'll put you in that corner. That's about the best.
I've never been in the bottom corner like this. I'm used to come out to play and having to scoot over like this.
Looking like that kid at the end of Blair Witch Project, all just staring in the corner.
Which one? I guess he looks better here, actually.
I'm so scared.
I really like the shield. The shield is
great. Well, welcome, everybody. If you're watching, don't forget to say hello in the chat. That's how you get entered for the raffles later on. So apparently Heinz and Jason's got the camera working. He's side-eyeing the script.
No, I didn't. I just switched my laptop.
It's all coming together. Make sure you get in the chat. You're going to get your prizes.
It's there.
We're down a pat today, so it will just be three of us. And
don't forget, also like and subscribe if you're listening to this for the first time.
Oh, yes. Gotta like and subscribe.
Apparently, Kathy literally watched Blair Witch Project today.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
I've never watched Blair Witch. Like, even when it came out, I wasn't interested. It's like, it was an interesting premise, but it wasn't interesting enough to get me to go to the theater and watch it.
That was great marketing. It was very good marketing.
It was good marketing. Yep.
But anyways, I guess you guys got any shenanigans before we start the live recording for our guests and our watchers?
I did all my shenanigans last night. Went to a metalcore concert with some jiu-jitsu buddies of mine.
Okay.
And, yeah, that was fun. I was one of the groups was so rowdy that I was inadvertently thrown into a wall of death. Do you know what a wall of death is, Jared? Do you know what a wall of death is?
I have like a guess going on up here.
Okay, well, it can't be like what it sounds because you're still alive. So
I'm still alive, unless I crushed people and heard the lamentations of their women. Yeah. But such was technically not the case, because what happens in a wall of death is like the crowd disperses one side and then the other side, and then like once the music starts playing again, you rush at each other and start pushing and shoving each other as hard and violently as you can until people get tired and stop.
I think it's called Red Rover.
Huh?
Red Rover? Is that what you said? Red Rover. Send Delvin on.
It's not nearly as menacing if you call it Red Rover. And like, so it's funny that you mentioned that, because I was trying to tell like some of my buddies that I think a lot of the themes in metal follow like the themes of emo. I was like, it's just emo kids with harder guitars. And they were like, no, that's not the case. And I'm like, isn't it? And I almost had my friends jump me last night. So there was that too. So
all right. The things
those are my shenanigans.
This coming weekend, I'm going to Issaquah to go see a play of
Robin Hood.
Issaquah. It's up kind of a little bit north of Seattle. So it's a little Seattle suburb. It's a place. And I'm going to see Robin Hood, the play.
Oh,
so for our Saturday matinee
theater. Definitely.
I will. I'll report back.
I don't have a lot on the horizon. I got an art show coming up at Troy University later this month, and I'm going to a car show with my son and a friend of mine. So there's that.
Ooh.
October plans.
I got to leave for Long Beach tomorrow for work, and I'll be down there pretty much all week. So
Long Beach is in Long Beach County, the LBC. If you will.
LBC, that's right. I'll be reporting from a remote location for our rogue agents.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. We got some rogue agent stuff coming this week. Tomorrow on this very channel, I'll be back on doing a movie review of 1972's Gargoyles with a guy named Sean. We're going to talk Gargoyles from 1972. So if that's interesting, anybody be back here tomorrow. We're going to do that at 3 o'clock Central Time, 4 o'clock
You're
Eastern.
going to double entendre and like gargle water while I talk about oh, God.
Yes. Let's go with yes. So we got that. And then the day after that, be back here again at 7 for Delvin and I will come out to play. I sent Delvin the thumbnail this morning. So I'm on top of things. And I got the screenshots already loaded. Top of things.
The only thing I haven't done, I have not created any script whatsoever for Come Out to Play or read the book. So, other than that, I'm ready for Come Out to Play.
We don't need scripts.
I can do that thing scriptless, but it makes for a better structure, So gotta go with script.
Well, that's what's coming up on Longbox Crusade, everybody. And I guess we should do a show.
I'm ready.
All right. I got to be Pat, so we will start our recording of Amazing Spider-Man Chronicles, episode 76, right about now. You're listening to Amazing Spider-Man Chronicles, episode 76, featuring Amazing Spider-Man number 220 and Uncanny X-Men 149 from June of 1981. All right, that was my production value added because I found it we have it preload. Anyways.
Hey.
Hey.
Good job, Jared. It made me happy. I danced in my seat.
Hello and welcome to the 76th says 76 at the top of the script, 75th right here in the script. I trusted the wrong Pat. Welcome to the 76. Let's go with 76. 76th episode of Amazing Spider-Man Chronicles podcast. I am your host, Pat, a.k.a. DJ Cristados. I will read what you put in front of me. All right, I am sitting in for Pat. I'm Jared Albrecht, the yard sale artist. Pat is taking care of his wife as she convalesces. Things are going good there, so we're happy about that. Pat, we hope you come back and join us soon. Now, Amazing Spider-Man Chronicles is a podcast where we journal the Amazing Spider-Man comic book issues read chronologically by their release date, along with another comic from Pat's comic book collection, either in digital, trade, or the many long boxes stashed away in Pat's basement. Each episode will provide a short recap, review, and rating of the issues for that release date, and the goal is to keep Pat actively reading through his collection and have some fun along the way, talking about it with his friends. This is just his friends episode. So joining me, as per usual, is my brother in most things. It is Jason. Well, no, my brother in most things is Delvin. My brother in literally everything is Jason. But we'll start with Jason, the Weasel Skull Albrecht. Welcome back to LBC headquarters.
I'm the brother he has to have.
Yeah, you're not allowed to escape on anything. You're
I'm the brother he was assigned at birth. I'm doing great. Things are looking up. You know, I've been looking to advance my career opportunities, and seems like there's some openings there in the underworld in New York City with it's time to move up that ladder.
Yes.
So we got to knock this out early. I got a heist to plan and execute. I gotta stay on top of things. I really want to get that slot.
Yeah, there's certain things you got to do, but I admire your tenacity. Delvin, what comic book related bit do you have prepared as I introduce Delvin the Dark Web Williams to the show?
Well, thank you, Jarhead. I appreciate you introducing me like that and inviting me onto your, quaint, cute little podcast. Everything's great here. So thank you.
I'm sure there's a bit in there somewhere that I'm not getting.
What? It was subtle, but I thought you might get it. Like,
I let you down.
Your name is Jared.
Right.
But I called you Jarhead.
It's mispronounced, right?
I mispronounced it, which is what Aunt May did.
Oh, at the backup story. I got it now. Yes. It's all the backup story. I can't wait to talk about that. That was great.
And also, I need to leave 5 minutes before Jason, but I can't tell you why.
Right. Got it. There's a lot of things going on this episode. And you know what? We're always here to listen to what you guys have to say for the episode. We're doing this live recording with an audience. So I'm sure my good friend Delvin will pick up any interesting chats that come along the way. But for those of you who are listening to the recording, you can always leave us a voicemail that we'd be happy to play on the show. You can leave us a message at 707-532-5269. That's 707-532 Lbox.
Pick up the phone.
Yeah, I like that. Now, before we get started with this episode's issues, and trust me, we have some issues, let's take a quick podcast promo break, and we will be right back. So far, so good.
Doing a great job. I just went ahead and left the door open so the cats can come and go and say please. So I might get robbed in the middle of this episode.
Well, we can watch it live. That'll be fun.
You can watch it live stream as people start stealing stuff behind me.
Look at that. Look at this little layout that Pat put together for us. Man, he's the best. We got all four of us on screen, comic dead center. Everything's looking good. All right, let's come back. Welcome back from the break. Now let's get to the first featured comic for this episode. It is Amazing Spider-Man 220. The credits for this issue are provided by Mike's Amazing World of Comics website. And I will do these as best I can to make Pat proud. We have Amazing Spider-Man 220, published by Marvel. Its cover date is September of 1981. Its on sale date was June 2nd, 1981. Cover price 50 cents. Editor is Denny O'Neil. The title is A Coffin for Spider-Man. It's written by Michael L. Fleischer. The artist and letterer is Bob McLeod. Colorist is Bob Sharon. The title of the backup story is The Nursing Home Caper. It's written by Mike W. Barr. Artist is J. Winslow Mortimer. Letterer is Jack Morelli. And the colorist is Don Warfield. It's been reprinted in Essential Spider-Man Volume 10 trade paperback, Marvel Masterworks Volume 283, which was Spider-Man's 21st. Yep, Volume 21 hardcover in 2020. Cover credits go to Bob Layton. I hope Pat wasn't too disappointed. I think I had all those names pronounced properly.
No, you did great. I was, which means it wasn't like Pat.
I don't know what to do at this point in the show either, but we'll just keep going. We love you, Pat.
We love you, Pat.
I guess I will pass it to myself for the cover description. Jared, will you do the cover? Of course, Jared, I will. The Marvel Comics Group banner is red with yellow letters, kind of reminiscent of candy corn. Spider-Man swings in his pumpkin orange corner box. The Amazing Spider-Man logo is ghostly white with blue highlights with the webs that almost make you miss that blurb that says a coffin for right before the Amazing Spider-Man. The main action features the issue's guest star Moon Knight as he throws open the lid of a coffin to reveal a seemingly deceased Spider-Man inside, and a cover blurb states, guest starring the macabre Moon Knight. It was a Halloween theme, in case
I missed it.
Okay.
Got it. Okay.
Well, I thought it was appropriate because we are recording this on October 8th. It is the Halloween month. And this book had a very Halloween flavor to it, I thought, too. So that's why I picked that. And even though I know we're recording this October 8th, it probably won't come out until like January or February. So trust us, it's October when we record it. We record these things well in advance. We've told you guys this many, many times. All right, let's get to our cover thoughts. We will start with Delvin.
I put a comment up. We're doing this live, y'all. I know we've mentioned this, but it's always great to say it again. From Billy Dunleavy, who said he loves this cover. #swoon. Now, I know Bob Layton is a legend. I wouldn't say I'm the craziest about this cover, but, you know, then looking at it, I don't know, looking at it at live cover, that's good. I have the issue here, you know, that's, you know, my small bit of fanciness. And I do like Moon Knight. I mean, just in general, but like he makes for a striking image and he looks really cool. Like that's just a cool looking costume. And there's not much to do for Spidey. And it seems like it was introducing, you know, like it was going to be kind of like the spooky sort of story that was going to be told. And it's definitely setting the mood for that. It almost feels like one of those Golden Key covers, you know, you like
That's right. That's right.
Like, I could imagine like, oh, that would be great. Like, I think this cover is good. It would be great. Could you imagine if this were like painted?
Yeah, like that very, that very spooky, dark shadows feel cover.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Like, I mean, as is, good cover. Moon Knight's good. Spider-Man didn't have much to do with it, but it is his book, so it's good that they included him. Let's give it to Jason, see what he thinks.
I want to focus on that coffin for a moment, gentlemen. If I go before the rest of you, that's what I want my coffin to look like. I want that purple, that sweet purple with the bright yellow interior. I mean, when I think coffins, I want to go out loud and in style like Spider-Man right there. In all seriousness, though, I think this cover really captured my attention. You know, and like Jared said, we're recording well in the Halloween season, so it's poignant. But it certainly is something that would have me pick it up off the rack. And it's almost like the edge of that coffin really bisects the cover down the middle. And kind of on our left, as we're looking at it, you have that bright, vibrant Spidey look that we're used to. And then on the right, you have the guest star that's the literally black and white of Moon Knight. And that's about all the covers that you get. And it's really interesting the way that that's laid out. So yeah, I think this is a really good one. Interesting, different than a lot of the ones that we've looked at before. A little tongue in cheek with a coffin for Amazing Spider-Man, ghost storing Moon Knight. It's a little pun heavy, but definitely kind of a unique flavor than what we're used to. So I like it.
Kathy chimes in from the chat, says, I like the cover a lot. Definitely makes me want to read it. It does say ghost starring. I didn't even realize that in my review of it. I said guest starring, and it literally does say ghost starring.
Me neither.
Nice.
What do you think about it, Jared?
I think I also like Prince's coffin. It's very, very
I was gonna make the Prince joke, but I was like, is it too soon for Jared?
Nah, either that or Spidey is like a big LSU fan, Go Tigers. One of the two. But yeah, it's very different. This is for a long time, this was the oldest, one of the oldest Spider-Man comics in my collection. And I took it to a con, a long time ago. It might have been the Heroes Con that you and I went to, Delvin. Ook say it with me back in the day. As I had Bob Layton sign the cover. That is my bit of fanciness. I have the Bob, because I was like, I knew he was going to be there. And I was like, what's the oldest book I've got that has Bob Layton on it? And that was the one I found. It was this one. And he's much more known for Iron Man and stuff like that. But this is a very mood cover. I really like the black behind the coffin, like the background. The whole background is like this black. It gives it that macabre feel. It makes everything pop even more, especially that white costume of Moon Knight. Good job to the colorist on this, by the way, too. So yeah, it's. The only problem with it is it feels a little static. Moon Knight has a little bit of emotion with the striking lines, like he's Spider-Man, The Spider-Man looks a little stiff.
Very funny, very funny. Yeah, I got a Bob McLeod printing, the interior.
Yes.
Artist. Yeah. He did my orgasmic cannonball.
That's true. That's true. I remember that. That was an ordeal.
It was. It was.
So yeah, speaking of Bob McLeod, I'm sure we'll talk about him in a minute, but man, didn't he do everything? He did like pencils, inks, letters. Yeah, Bob McLeod working on it. But you know what? We will get to that after we rate him. Let's rate this cover. And I have some thoughts from Pat on it. He texted them to me. Now, whether or not I'm going to read what Pat said or what I think Pat would have said is going to be up to the listening audience. But we'll get his thoughts and his rating once we're finished rating it. So we'll go other way this time. Jason, let's go ahead and rate this on a scale of 1 to 5. As a reminder, 5 means you loved it. It tickled your tummy feathers. 4 means you really liked it. 3 means you liked it. 2 means you didn't really like it that much. And 1, you hated it. It ruffled your tummy feathers. Jason.
I think I'm going to be the high point on this one. I'm at a 4. It really grabbed my attention. And even though Spider-Man isn't in his traditional Spider-Man pose, just to see him in that final rest pose, really, I mean, for a cover, obviously, Spider-Man's not going to die, but makes you want to know what is going on in there. And to see Moon Knight, he just always looks kind of cool. So I'll give it a 4.
I like it. Delvin.
Quick comments from the audience. Billy D gave it a 4 out of 5. Heinz Coke gave it a 4. Kathy gave it some weird number that I'm not even going to recognize because she knows the rules by now. And it's kind of ridiculous that she put that number that's not a solid number. So.
Ruffled my tummy feathers is what she did.
Yeah. Her number ruffled my tummy feathers, so I won't read it. I give it a 3. I think it's good. Like I said, I'm not in love with it, but it is a good cover. And it's kind of a case. It did have Moon Knight, did have Spidey, did have the coffin, but the mood that it was setting up kind of makes it seem like it was something that it really wasn't, which is a little bit misleading. Not terribly misleading, just slightly. What do you think, Jared?
Coming into this, I had it at a 3. but I'm going to actually be two cool guys with Jason and give it a 4. I think for 2 reasons. One, ghost starring. that's just great.
They got you with the pun.
They got me with the pun that I didn't even notice, and I did the dang cover description. And I think if we were recording this in any of the other 11 months of the year, I would have given it a 3, but because it's October and it has such a spooky October vibe, I'm going to give it a 4. So that's my nonsensical 4 for this cover.
All right. To make sense.
You keep an eye on that chat. I'll tell you what Pat said here via the text technology. Pat says, I give the cover a 4. It has a great Halloween vibe, and he likes the colors. That was real Pat. That wasn't me.
Pat is a sucker for colors. If you throw like purple and gold on the cover, it's at least a 4 for Pat.
they are complimentary on the color wheel. Yes, Delvin.
What would fake Pat say?
Fake Pat. Let's see. If I was putting words into Pat mouth, I would say I'm a chump. I live on Chump Island. I give it a 2.6.
My color's breakfast good. Was a bowl of Chumpios.
Everybody loves Bob Lation, and that's what I would say.
Okay.
Bob Laotian would have been funnier, like he was from Laos. All right, I got to keep this bit up the rest of this dang show, don't
I? Only if I bring it up.
Okay, well, it's going to happen. I just know it.
What are the odds of that happening again?
Okay, well, now it is time to get our story synopsis. And for that, we go to Delvin. So what do we got here about this coffin for Spider-Man thing, Delvin?
Well, I am about to tell you. The title of this issue is A Coffin for Spider-Man. The action does not open up with Spidey doing anything. Instead, it's Moon Knight thwarting a caper of gold bullion theft. But wait, he's stealing it? Yeah, it's true, but he's doing it for good reason, see? There's a vacancy in the secretary position for the National Syndicate Directorate. Think mob. And Moon Knight, a hero, wants that position. And even though he's tied for first in the amount of money stolen, not all of the mobsters are buying Moon Knight's heel turn. Now we get to Spidey. He's trying to sell some pics to Jonah and JJJ. Is like, get your butt out there and get me Moon Knight pics. Spidey and Moon Knight do tussle, but Spidey gets hip to Moon Knight's plans and they all play along. But Moon Knight does win the competition, but the Syndicate throws an extra wrinkle in the mix. Bring them the body of Spider-Man to prove you're truly one of us. And thanks to a bait and switch, that wrinkle gets ironed out quickly in like a page and a half. The caper ends. And also there was a quick story about Aunt May in the nursing home, because who doesn't want to see nursing home capers? Aunt May faked a heart attack, y'all. Back to you, Jared.
Yes, it's like you finished your Spider-Man and then there's like an episode of Murder, She Wrote like right after it, and you're like, okay, I'll watch that. I have to give credit where it's due, because I want to say, like, gosh, maybe a year ago, 12 episodes, 12 issues of Spider-Man ago, we made a joke about following the adventures of Aunt May, and I want to say it was Auburn Elvis who said in the chat, you might just get your wish coming up. And I think this is what he meant.
I guess he knew karma.
I guess so. Well, let's get to the bric-a-brac on this. Is this a first read or a reread? We'll start with Delvin.
First read from me, Jared.
Jason?
First read from me as well.
Well, as I mentioned earlier. Yeah, it's a reread. I ruined it.
You son of a...
I ruined it. This can start happening more and more, because this is like really where my Amazing Spider-Man collection was really blossoming in the back in the day. Sorry, everybody.
Look what's in the sky. Nothing.
Nothing. Just nothing. All right. Well, let's get into the highs and lows and the what-thas. We got a couple rounds of this. You guys know how it works. We will start this time with Jason.
I'll give a high to the action sequences and to the artists there. One of the things that I really like about the Amazing Spider-Man book when it comes to actions and the fighting, particularly when Spider-Man fights a lot of opponents, is when they really showcase how he relies on his instincts and his agility to mix in with his fighting style. And a lot of artists can't quite capture it quite right, in my opinion. And I think Mr. McLeod did a great job in here of doing that. And I there's one panel in there that I really enjoyed where it shows Spider-Man kind of fighting with his style and Moon Knight with his style. And it just, to me, that panel really kind of sold the whole book as far as the action elements were concerned. So hats off to a good artistic rendering of a Spidey Moon Knight team up fight. I liked it.
All right. Gotta love McLeod, man. Inks, pencils, letters. He's probably out there working the sales force, man, calling the shop, getting the orders put in, for all we know.
That's right. Hey, get those ads in.
Come on. We got things to do.
We got Twinkies to sell.
Hostess cake, cream filling. Anyways, Delphin, high, low, or what?
I'm going to take a low on this only because Jason did a good job complimenting the high part. And that low part is we are on Amazing Spider-Man Filler Island. And I would love to know what the story is behind that, because it seemed like they were building something. We had a consistent team. We did the Frightful Four with Lolira in it. And, there's the storylines, with the country singer singing, the Bad Country and Pete's apartment and all sorts of stuff. And it was building up, he was curbing Debbie Whitman. Debbie Whitman curbed him. These are things that I like because it's spider stuff. But I will say this much. I did not mind the original story. The original story was good. It was a good story and intriguing. And it instantly intrigued me. But the whole time I had to kind of get rid of that potty face because I was like, it's filler. It's filler again. Not just even, it's one thing to do that, every now and again, like 1 month, and then you get 12 months of good story or whatever, or continuity. This has been about month 2 or 3. And it's like, what is going on in Spidey world right now that, of course, you had to get Spidey out, but they weren't able to field a consistent team. So much so to the point that there was an Aunt May vignette. And in the comic book, it was the Aunt May art and story. It was almost indistinguishable from the Hostess ad that they had in the middle of it. And that should tell you something. And it's not good.
It is good. It's delicious.
Not the Hostess. I am not besmirching Hostess.
Oh, okay.
Okay, they're delicious. I just meant the content of the story there.
That makes sense.
The cream filling's delicious.
I just discussed this, Jason. I agree with you. We're on the Hostess front. We are three cool guys. Excuse me. Everything else, I'm alone on Cool Island, and y'all are on Trump Island.
Oh man, I definitely pick up what you're putting down, Delvin. I read this and was like, oh my goodness, this is filler. It really felt like not a great Spider-Man comic, but a really good Marvel team up. I was like, this is like a good issue of Marvel team up to me. It wouldn't surprise me if that's maybe what it was. They were like, hey, pull that over real quick.
Right. Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, because it wasn't just the writer that was replaced. The whole team,
everything
was replaced. So yeah, it could have been hey, we've had this one on the back burner for MTU for a while. Let's just
it could be. But it definitely had that vibe. And so I give that a what the, because I'm like Delvin on one hand, I was like filler, boo, but then I was like, this is a pretty good Marvel team up. So I'll level it out at a what the. Stuff going on in the chat. Someone has claimed that Little Debbie's is better. than Hostess. I learned the other day that the guy who founded Little Debbie invented the Twinkie for Hostess, so that guy's pulling double duty. And he's
so you know there's a story. You know there's a story there too. Like he invented it, but he didn't get the credit he felt he deserved. It's like, I'll show you.
Just for that, I'm going to make some of those pink snowball things spongy and weird. I'm not saying I don't eat them. I do. They're just my last choice. Anyway, I don't know where I was going with that.
Jelly rolls. Those were the bombs. Get those jelly rolls.
The jelly rolls is the best. What are we talking about? Oh yeah, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Yeah.
Let's get back into round 2. I forgot who went first last time. Whoever that person was can go first again this time. Keep it going.
I think that was me. I'll just go ahead and say my other high is J. Jonah Jameson. As I've said before, I'm kind of new to the Spider-Man books, as in reading them in continuity. You know, of course, when you grow up collecting comics, Spider-Man is, you read some Spider-Man. He's either guest starring in the books that you read or you pick some up along the way. But this is the first time I've really read seriously through this volume 1 run. And it just really cracks me up because J. Jonah Jameson is just always the rain cloud that busts open on Pete's good day. And he does it again in this one. I missed the last episode with you guys. I wasn't able to record, so I went back and read, and I was cracking up when Peter was hoping that J. Jonah Jameson would give him some bail money, and Jonah's like, "Nah, get yourself out." And it just follows up here when he's like, "Okay, things are finally turning my way. I've got tons of Spider-Man photos to show, and I've got all, you know, I've got, this is money in my pocket." And he shows up, and Jonah's like, "I don't want your Spider-Man. That's yesterday's news. I want some Moon Knight." And it's just spoiler alert, that'll be my silly Spidey moment. I cracked up. It's just like every time with this guy, he shows up just when he's thinking he's turning a corner and things are looking up. J. Jonah James is like, So that's my high. Another great J. Jonah Jameson spoiler moment.
He's just the secret sauce that makes it all work, isn't he? He really is.
He really is. He's both hero and villain, and just like
he's truly a part of what makes Spider-Man special. And Stan Lee has, said so much about it, where like any good Spider-Man comic book, it's going to have some Spidey adventures in it, but it's going to have some facets of Peter's life too. And what is more of a part of Peter's life? I mean, like probably with the exception of like Mary Jane and Aunt May, right? Than J. Jonah Jameson. It's like JJJ has been there from the beginning, and there's a reason that he's been such a venerable character like he is. He truly is special.
Well, you've got the mic, so keep going with your next and final round, my friend.
Bob McLeod can draw his butt off. The artwork in the book was fantastic. It was a lot of fun to look at. And so that's clearly a high. If you're going to have guest spots in your book like they did, at least you're going to have somebody who's not a slacker. Like if somebody like Bob McLeod's on the book, is like, I know that name. Okay. I'll read it. I don't know what's going on in the Mighty Marvel bullpen right now as far as Spidey continuity, but that's okay. Like, because especially like it's John Romita Jr. John Romita Jr. draws like 3 books a month. So clearly he couldn't be the issue, right? Like it's John Romita Jr. So man, I would love to know. But like anyway, the artwork, good. Like not good, great. It made it very easy to look at. And so I could at least understand that even though it was a one and done, that it was a one and done I could get into, and I'm okay with that. What do you think, Jared?
I saved my last high for the second round because I really enjoyed the backup story. Aunt May in the nursing home, crimes that go on, and her faking a heart attack, and I just got a kick out of it. I thought this is a lot of fun. It almost had like an Archie Comics feel to it, just a little bit, and I kind of like that.
It truly did, Jared. It truly did.
So yeah, I grew up reading Archie comics. I still read Archie comics from time to time, and it felt charming and fun. It's just like it's one of those things where, again, we don't know the history behind it. We weren't in the Marvel offices, but they were like, we got to do this filler issue. We don't have quite enough page count to make it. Will somebody do a backup story? And like, it felt like it wasn't like somebody was like, man, I got to come with a backup story. That person was like, I got it. I have been wanting to do this for a while. And it just seemed like
that kid on the basketball court just in the corner.
Put me in, coach. Yeah, who was the back? Oh, it was Mike W. Barr. He wrote a lot of Batman and the Outsiders, I think, and some other Bat stuff back in the 80s. And Jay Winslow Mortimer on the pencils. It came together. So I just hats off to a good. It's filler, but man, they made the filler fun. And when you do that, I'm all in. All right. Now, that is the official end of our highs and lows. Anybody else want to reattack or any final thoughts?
Only if Pat or Fate Pack has something.
I was going to say, would Pat leave? I know he left something.
Let's just take a look here. Pat said, we'll get to that. All he really did is score it with a couple of thoughts. So when we get the scoring, we'll find out what Pat said. So I guess with that, first we got to do Silly Spidey. Let's get into Silly Spidey. Jason, we know what yours is.
You got it. Yep. J. Jonah Jameson.
I got it. It's got to be the part where he was like, because Spidey came in like cock of the walk, right? he's like, I wouldn't wrap fish. Did he say something like that? I wouldn't wrap fish with it.
I wouldn't wrap my fish with this.
Oh man, it's just nothing better than Pete coming in on that high, and then this.
He's like, give me those Moon Knight photos or you're fired.
J. Jonah on the anti-aircraft gun, like.
It was like, oh man, that's a pretty bubble you're floating on, Pete. And here, I just got this pin, right? And then, I have one that I thought was like, is a silly Spidey / a what the, where in a kind of baller moment, but like if you think about it, it's a little bit grosser. Like friggin' Moon Knight was out fighting crime the whole night, and then he like jumps from the helicopter and then glides into his pool, and then he dips into the pool and goes to another pool and comes up and just immediately starts making out with the wife. And it's like, man, did you shower?
The pool.
On the pool, he cleaned up on the swim.
Unless there's soap in that pool, Moon Knight was stinking. That's all I'm saying.
Now you smell like stinking chlorine.
And then he was like, you want to play some backgammon? I'm like, back something. All right.
Right? She was very excited that he was home.
She was.
So that was your Silly Spidey, was the sweet, sweet life of Mark Spector.
Yeah, the sweet unshowered life of Mark Spector. Yes.
Oh, I mean, you also have, he runs around with this dude who speaks with a very thick French accent, and he's got a paper thin French mustache, and his name is
Frenchie.
Frenchie.
A lot of thought went into that one.
I mean, they didn't even go with
stereotype, Delvin. It's stereotype.
They didn't even go with Pierre or Jean-Luc. They went with French. But that's not even my Silly Spidey. I'm going to go to the backup story. I just love Aunt May calling that dude Raisin. He's like, it's Razor. And she kept calling him Raisin. And I just love that little punk rock guy. Who ended up being quite lovable.
It was funny also. She was like, oh yeah, I've had enough experience with heart attacks. I know how to fake one.
That's one every 4 issues.
Good.
It's like, that's true. It's been 220 issues of Amazing Spider-Man. She has had 418 heart attacks.
She knows what she's doing, man. All right, guys, let's get into the ratings. Just a quick reminder. It's a 5 means you loved it. Tickled them. The tummy feathers, that is. 4 means you liked it. 4 means you really liked it. 3 means you liked it. 2 means you didn't like it. And 1, you hated it. them tummy feathers been ruffled, and I don't like it. Delvin.
Right down the middle at a 3, even though it's leaning towards that higher 3. Like it's not gonna get over 4. You know, like sometimes we've had that filler episode or episode/issue where like it kind of gets high marks. Artwork was good here. The initial story was pretty good too. Even though it was way too short and it concluded way too quickly. But there were things to like. And I think that's something that you would appreciate out of a filler issue or episode, that it has some good elements in it. And it had good elements. Let's throw it to you, Jared. Good grief. Let's throw it to you, Jared. What do you think?
I'm with you. I think it's a solid 3, which is pretty good for a filler book with a backstory to it. Like, again, initially I was kind of down on it, and I was like, this might be a 2, but then I was like, yeah, it's a pretty good Marvel team up, and I was charmed by the backstory, lofted it to a 3. Jason.
I'm going to round it out with a 3 as well. Same reason as you guys. Obviously, it's filler. It may even have pushed into 4 territory. It's just like, I think Delvin hit the nail on the head. For me, it's like, our starting rotation's been missing in action for a while, and we've gone to the bullpen quite a few times, and I'm starting to wonder what's going on.
Like, you remember how we would complain, and Jared was the biggest one of all, but it's not like any of us were like saying, oh, Jared, why are you saying this? Like, Keith Pollard would do like great interiors, but never did the cover, or he'd do the cover and someone else would do the interiors. It's like, heck, at least he was still saying, I'm still around, y'all. I'm still here. I was busy this month, but I got one of them done, and I'm still here. Keith Pollard, don't forget me. And now it's just like, I mean, it's been such a while. Like, who's writing the book again? Who's the main writer of Amazing Spider-Man?
Right now,
you should never have.
Denny O'Neil. Yeah, it's supposed to be.
It was a pause. I saw Jared kind of look and was doing. I have to think about this for a second. I forgot. And we cover this book monthly. I am reading this book more consistently than I'm reading present Amazing Spider-Man, for Pete's sake. And I can't tell you who is the normal month-by-month writer on Amazing Spidey. That's a problem.
He said, for Pete's sake. It's a winner. All right. Well, the only thing left, I think, is to go to Pat, correct? We've all rated it. Yeah. So are we going to have a Three's Company? Let's find out. Pat says he rates it a 3. So anyway, as Pat rates it a 3, he said, not much. I'm going to read. This is what he wrote. Not much, just Spidey teammates my up with another hero. That's what he texted. I'm not making that up.
Makes I think about as much sense would say that too.
As much sense as usual.
All right, let me decode that. I said 3. I think he's saying there's not much except Spidey teaming up with another hero. I think that's what he's got going on. Like I said, it's Marvel team up. He said, I enjoyed the Aunt May mystery backup story. So there you have it. Pat's thoughts.
Well, he has been sharing with us. He's been watching Murder, She Wrote,
Yeah, we have that in common. He and I have both been watching a lot of Murder, She Wrote. Well, usually that's the end, but, we've added the old Karma count recently. So I wonder what our friend Auburn Elvis has queued up for us in this issue's Karma count.
Should we guess and see who gets closest again?
Oh, yeah, like Price is Right this thing?
Yeah, let's Price is Right this thing.
Let's think here.
Thinking.
I think it's going to be a lot of karma because it ended up like doing a really, really big thing as far as taking down that, getting that book that helped take down a lot of national crime. So
he didn't really fumble pretty hard.
Yeah, I'm going to go with 300 karma count.
Okay. That seems high. He's pretty stingy with that karma count. I'm going to say 100.
And I, in true Price is Right fashion, I'm going to go with $1. So I think you're both over. Let's find out.
I'm thinking I'm over too. But let's go ahead. I'm sticking with it.
I guess I'm your karma, and I love it. I can't get enough of it. There's nothing above it.
Hi Crusaders, this is Auburn Elvis. Have you ever wondered if superheroes can improve their strength by working out? Well, according to the 1984 Marvel superhero role-playing game, they can. And depending on your current strength, it might be kind of easy. In the game, heroes gain and lose karma points for how heroic their actions are. Karma can be saved up over time and spent to improve a hero's ability scores. Improving an ability costs 10 times its current score. So, if Spider-Man wanted to improve his strength of a 40 to a 41, it would cost him 400 karma points. And to give you an idea of how long it would take Spidey to earn that much karma, here's the karma count for his actions in this issue. Amazing Spider-Man 220 starts off with a whole lot of Moon Knight action that sets up our story. Spider-Man's action starts about midway as he attempts to stop Moonlight from stealing the jeweled dagger. Our hero is going to fail at this. He's going to lose 10 karma for permitting the robbery, and then he loses 40 more karma for the public defeat that he suffered from Moon Knight. Now we do find out that this was all a ruse, but since the public at large does not know it's a ruse, Spidey is still going to take that hit. Literally. But he does get some photos of Moon Knight, so we're going to give him 5 karma for completing his photo assignment for J. Jonah Jameson. The story's culmination sees Spidey, Mooney, and Frenchie stop the lone gunman. That's 30 karma there. And then they take down the head of the crime syndicate and a whole room full of goons, which equals 40 karma for the stopping the national conspiracy, 20 for the arrest, and 50 karma for the arrest of all the underlings. Also, we're going to assume that the stolen treasure from earlier will get returned, so I'm going to give Spidey 20 karma back that he lost earlier. So, counting everything up, Spider-Man gains a total of 115 karma in this issue. So it would take him 3 more adventures like this to improve his strength from a 40 to a 41. Now this is normally the point where I would sign off, but since this issue also has a bonus adventure, let's see how much karma the actions of Marveldom's favorite senior citizen, Aunt May, are worth. The story begins with Aunt May earning 5 karma for fulfilling a personal commitment by checking in on her helpless nephew Peter. Later, after Aunt Polly is choked and the dance receipts are stolen, Aunt May figures out that it was done by Polly's horrible nephew Rodney. When Rodney assaults May, she quickly fakes a heart attack, allowing the Shriekers to gang up on him and beat him so mercilessly that Marvel didn't even show it to the young readers in the panels. Now Aunt May will get 20 karma for stopping the robbery, 15 karma for Rodney's arrest, assuming he's alive, and a 10 karma role-playing award for showing us how flawless teamwork is supposed to work in a superhero story. So, counting everything up, Aunt May gains a total of 50 karma in this issue, which is enough to raise her feeble strength of a 2 up to a 4. Looks like someone's been hitting the gym after eating all those wheat cakes. I'm Auburn Elvis. Thank you very much for listening to this karma count. Let's blow us another amp, Joe November.
I guess I'm your karma, and I love it. I can't get enough of it. There's nothing above it.
Well done. Well done.
That was great.
And congratulations to Jason for guessing the karma.
No, we're going to forget about that part. I don't even remember.
Oh, we'll never forget about that part.
Oh. Oh, goodness. Well, that was awesome. Thank you so much for that, Albert Elvis. That was, it's good to know that Aunt May is getting moving on up. She's got them gains.
She's got some suspicious powder going on them wheat cakes. Like, why are you walking up faster than normal, Aunt May? What you doing?
She was like Rodney ass. She sussed out that Rodney, the turd. All right. Well, that's going to bring us to the end of this part of the show. If you got a comment or question, you can always send us an email at contact@longboxcrusade.com, or of course, comment on our X, Instagram, or Facebook pages. It's all at Longbox Crusade. Also on YouTube. We'll be right back. All right. Time to get some X-Men. Let me shift over here and grab I read out the essentials. Jason's got the issue. Don't got the issue. Look at them fancies, boys. I got the black and white reprint.
That's as far as Jared goes with the X-Men.
It is. I have their Essentials volumes 1 through 5. And what's weird is Essentials volume 1, it starts like where we started. So like they just ignored all that X-Men history all the way up until basically they're like, let's see, when does Wolverine show up? Right about here. That's where we'll start.
It's like there were like 7-8 years of history before the new X-Men. Shut up! You shut up! Shut up! Wolverine!
What a weird choice to start the essentials there. But anyways, that's how I read it. All right, let's see. Let me bring us back from this. Here we are. Okay. Welcome back from the break, folks. Now let's get to the second featured comic for this episode, which is determined by our Crusaders Club members. Crusaders Club members get to vote on the segment using the online poll that's only available at Longbox Crusade's Patreon.com page. As always, we want to thank our Crusaders Club members for voting to help determine the programming of the show, even though I know some of it is intentional just to destroy me. If you want to get in on the voting and all the other amazing benefits of being a Crusaders Club member, go to patreon.com/longboxcrusade. For as little as $1 a month, you can help determine what each episode's second feature will be. For this episode, the Crusaders Club members have selected for my great torment, Uncanny X-Men number 149. All right, let's be honest. I've been enjoying the X-Men lately. Let's see if the streak continues. The credits for this issue are provided by Mike's Amazing World of Comics, and it goes a little something like this. As mentioned, this is X-Men 149, published by Marvel. Cover date, September 1981. On sale date, June 9th, 1981. Cover price, 50 cents. Editors, Louise Simonson. Writer, Chris S. Claremont.
Esquire!
Fun to be on the other side of that. Penciler is Dave Cockrum. Inker is Joe Rubenstein. And the letter is Janice Shang. And the colorist is Glennis Weed.
Woohoo! Welcome back, Glennis. I saw that and I lit up. I was like, yes.
And I don't know, there's a lot of Glennis Weed fanboy podcasts out there, but this is the one. This is the one. This is reprinted in X-Men Classic number 53. Essential X-Men Volume 3 trade paperback, which is how I read it. Marvel Masterworks Volume 90, which is the 6th volume of the Uncanny X-Men. Uncanny X-Men Omnibus Volume 2 hardcover, and the epic collection of I, Magneto that just came out last year. Cover credits are Dave Cockrum and Joe Rubenstein. Jared, will you do a cover description? Certainly, Jared. I'd be happy to. The Marvel Comics group banner is looking very Coolsville with its purple and white letters. The corner box is shaggy shirt green, and it contains the heads of Wolverine, Colossus, Fred, Storm, Kitty, Daphne, Nightcrawler, and Angel. The Uncanny X-Men logo is yellow with red highlights, and the main action features Wolverine, Kitty, Colossus, Storm, and Nightcrawler searching like Scooby and the gang through a dilapidated tech facility. Oh, got lost in my own sentence there. I'll just read it again. I'll pick it from there. Okay. The main action features Wolverine, Kitty, Colossus, Storm, and Nightcrawler searching like Scooby and the gang through a dilapidated tech facility that's full of mystery machinery. Looming large in the background is the mysterious living dead creature, Mr. Garrock. He probably would have got away with it too if it hadn't been for those meddling mutants.
Zoinks,
just
yo.
Garrock, Your Honor.
Zoinks, Jinkies, and indeed it is just Garrock. It's not Mr. Garrock. Oh, I had a lot of fun writing that one. And Pat loves Scooby-Doo, so I'm sad he wasn't here for it, but he'll get it in the editing booth. Okay, let's do cover thoughts. We'll start with Jason.
This is another good Cockrum X-Men cover. Probably not one of his best. I think the thing that really highlighted it for me this time when I picked it up to read it in preparation for this was the flashlights. The flashlights really kind of sell it. It shows that they're kind of in this creepy environment, and I think, that's probably a lot of the motivation for your cover description. I think just from a creepy, cool vibe sense from the cover, I thought it worked really well. I'll leave it there.
I agree. Like, you're absolutely right. When I started like looking around with flashlights, I immediately thought Scooby and the gang. Delvin.
How often do you think on any cover do you see Wolverine with a flashlight?
You can like hear it like dun 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 dun.
Yeah. So yeah, that was even seeing that was like at first it kind of was like, oh, this isn't a very good post, but the cover worked exactly as intended because I pulled it out, I looked. I saw all the X-Men, kind of looking, benign, not action poses and flashlight. And then I looked up and saw like that half shadow. So it worked. It did. Because like that image of Garrock was creepy as all heck. So I'm like, okay, that it was an effective cover and that it did what it was supposed to do, that it set out to do. And just as a quick aside, I kind of like the old school Marvel comic group banner that goes across the cover. It just, I don't know.
Absolutely.
Just adds a little to the covers. Like, these are Marvel comics. I like that even better than the logo. I don't know. Just wanted to point that out.
I'm with you. Like when I'm flipping through a dollar bin and I see that banner, I don't even really care. I'm just like, I'm getting it. I don't care what book it is. It just tells me it's of that era.
That's fair. Yeah, I do the same.
Yeah, just a cool look. So yeah, that's all I got on the cover. What do you think, Jared?
It's a mixed emotions cover again, much like you. Like at first it's a little bit goofy with the flashlight thing, and then you're like, but it like does set a tone, and then you see the face. The one that I have up, if you're watching the live stream version, I think this is from Marvel's digital library, and it's a little bit recolored. And I believe you guys have the originals there, but I feel like Garrock's face is even darker on the real cover as opposed to this digital version. Like it's bright blue machinery, like a darker purple Garrock face in the back.
Yep, it's more purple on the cover. This one looks more blue.
Yeah, this one's a little more evened out. And I honestly don't know which one I like better, but I will give them credit for their cool looking dilapidated machinery. And once again, setting tone. I can't help but think that even though these were on the stands at the beginning of September, both this and the Spidey one, I feel like they like miscalculated or something. And these were supposed to be the October ones because this has a Halloween feel again to it, with the creepy eye and the flashlights and the dilapidated machinery, and it has a creepy vibe. And so as far as big action X-Men set piece goes, is that? No, it's not that, but as a tone setter, it's pretty good. That's where I'm at. Good choice, by the way, of putting the X-Men logo in yellow. So really, because color wheel and all that mess, yellow and blue do like to pop off each other. So I think it really works. Not sure about the green corner box, though. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of blues.
Go ahead, Jason.
I was just noticing that there was a lot of blues and purples and blacks in the middle of the cover, and you've got the really colorful pop out pieces at the bottom with the characters and the top with the logo. That's an interesting point.
And it does allow it for that one single eye of Garrock there to pop in the middle. So I did forget to mention that it had a cover blurb in my write-up, and it says, "And the dead shall bury the living," which gives it an even more creepy factor. So there you have it. With that, let's go ahead and start scoring these. And we scored on a 1 to 5, as you probably remember. A 5 means you loved it. It gave you a ring to swing from. 4 means you really liked it. 3 means you liked it. 2 means you didn't like it, and 1, you hated it. It turned you into a baby, which I believe got brought up in this issue, if I'm not mistaken.
It did.
I was like, oh, it's the baby thing. So, Jason, where are you going to go with this?
This is a sneaky 4 for me. when I go and I look through my X-Men collection, there are comics that really pop out, jump out to me when you look at those covers. Most of them have Wolverine on them, but there are some that just jump to my mind. This one, I didn't really think about, and when I pulled it out, I was like, 3. That was like my first thought when I pulled it out. But then when I looked at it, I was like, I don't know if I remember what happened in this issue. Did I read this issue? What is going on here? And it pulled me in. It made me look at it. And again, it was the flashlights. Like, why are they holding flashlights? Where are they? What is that creature in the back? When I first looked at it, my first thought was Sentinel, like, oh, there's a Sentinel back there. And then that's not a Sentinel. So it's one of those that pulls you in and makes you look at it more. So yeah, sneaky 4 for me.
All right. I like that. All right, Delvin.
It's not even sneaky for me. It's just a 4. Because like I mentioned from the start, it did to me what I think the cover was intending to do. I first immediately panned to the X-Men, and sure enough, hiding in the shadows, very much like what happened in the book, was Garrock, who was undetectable and was up to nefariousness the entire time. And so it's like, ooh, and it gave me kind of a little chill, like, oh my goodness, thing looks creepy as heck. So it did exactly what it was supposed to do. Like, am I going to put it on the wall? Probably not. But like, between the Marvel comic books nostalgia hitting me in the feels today and the impressiveness of the cover, and it did what it conveyed, easy 4 for me. What about you, Jerry?
Well, as I mentioned, I read mine in the black and white reprint, so I get a real appreciation for the ink work. And I don't have the UPC label to cover that bottom left corner of it either. So I get a really full effect, and I like it a lot. And I was kind of like, I think Jason mentioned when I first glanced at it, I was like, it's a 3. We saw Dr. Doom and standing atop the X-Men and holding Storm, and this can't compete with that. But the more I look at it, I think Jason's right. Sneaky 4. And I think this would look even better blown up in a poster size, to be honest with you. Like, if it was a poster hanging on your wall, I think it would have an even cooler look. So, yeah, I'm going to, it's boom, boom, lock. Well, I don't know if we can boom, boom, lock, a boom, because I haven't looked at Pat's yet. For the people who are here, we can. While I look at Pat's, Delvin looks like he's been keeping up with people in the chat.
Yep. And Jamil says the cover's a 4. That is intriguing. AU Kathy gave it a 3. Said the covers for her. Courtney was a little bit contradictory because she said that she loved the cover. She said the cover is amazing, but then she gave it a 3. So it was an amazing 3, probably at high level 3. So we're about the same.
Well, bad news, gentlemen. We are not going to open the door and get on the floor because Pat gave it a 5.
Oh,
Pat loved it.
Oh,
but remember how I told you he loves Scooby-Doo?
Yep.
Yeah, and colors popping out, and it does both those things.
So there you have it. He said he really likes this art. He said this is solid cock rum, and there is an ellipse between the two. So
I don't get it.
I don't either.
No, neither.
Seems childish to me.
I
needs to grow up.
You're making rum jokes again,
I guess. And with that, let's get into the story synopsis brought to you by Jason. I'm hoping for big words.
Oh, I will not disappoint. I just got to be able to scroll over to my little thing right here, and here we go. The title is, "And the Dead Shall Bury the Living." Professor Xavier is certain that Magneto is alive and preparing something nefarious. There's your first word. Looking for clues to his whereabouts and plans, Professor X sends Storm, Wolverine, Nightcrawler, and Colossus back to Antarctica and the remains of the evil mutant of magnetism's previous secret lair. Unbeknownst to our heroes, Kitty Pryde, now going by the questionable codename of Sprite, has stowed away on board the X-Jet. Her teammates discover her near their destination, and a reluctant Storm decides to bring the trainee along instead of abandoning the mission. Storm and her crew return to a creepy, hollowed-out volcano lair that appears empty, save for the nightmarish memories of the veteran mutants who barely survived the deadly battle with the hidden base's former occupant. All is not as still as it seems, however, as our team is stalked and viciously attacked by a terrifying foe, and one they thought long deceased, Garak, the Petrified Man. In a desperate battle with the formidable foe, who is hell-bent on getting his revenge upon Storm from their last encounter, the X-Men use all of their teamwork and, with the aid of Kitty, are barely able to survive and vanquish their enemy. Our heroes return home more certain than ever that Magneto is alive and going to strike at any moment. Back to you, Jared.
Okay, let's do the bric-a-brac. Is this a first read or reread? We'll go with Delvin.
First read for me, my friend.
Jason.
It's a first read for me as well. I've had it in my collection, but if I'd read it before, I certainly don't remember it.
Well, then, it is a first read for me. It's a Bleeding Rainbow.
What? I was prepared. I wasn't prepared. I'm sorry. I was reading Rainbow.
There we go. So with that, we will get into our highs and our lows and our what does, and I suppose we'll start with Delvin, round one. What do you think, man? It's just Garak, Your Honor.
Just Garak, Your Honor. What? Absolutely creepy villain. Useless, but creepy. He had some good things, and this. Every writer has a feel, right? And the whole story felt Claremontian. And I'm not even talking about word count or anything like that. I'm talking about where you had Kitty and she was kind of feeling neglected. And then she stowed away on this mission that she shouldn't have been a part of, which means, of course, if you read any Claremont, that character is going to be the cog that's going to be the one that actually breaks open the whole caper. Speaking in Scooby language still, I guess. So it felt very Claremontian, like the entire story. And I'm fortunate that I generally like how Chris Claremont sets up and structures stories, but you could kind of see it coming a mile away about how it was going to be presented. Not how it was going to end necessarily, but just how it was going to be presented.
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly, my friend. I saw that coming, I don't know, 1,000 miles, however long they traveled. I was like, oh, here we go. She's going to stow away. She's going to be the key to victory. Anyway, it's not my turn to go. Just a little comment on yours. I'll reveal more when it's my turn to talk. It's Jason's go.
Yeah, I agree that this was definitely a continuation of Claremont trying to sell us Kitty Pryde. You know, she's still new to this team, new to the comic book universe. Obviously, as we're recording this today, she's a storied member of the X-Men, a leader now. But this was her in the early days, which is fun for me to read. But my high is really going to go to Storm on this one. I think as I was reading this, something popped into me, and I've been reading X-Men for years, and you essentially had Cyclops leading the team earlier when we started reading, and now you're seeing Storm step into that leadership role. And Cyclops was the leader that Professor Xavier assigned to the role. Storm is the leader the X-Men chose to follow and choose to follow. And you see that in this book. I see in the way that Wolverine responds to her, defers to her, and doesn't question her authority in the field. And it's a natural ability. And even the empathetic way she treats Kitty Pryde, when Kitty Pryde's like, what do you think of my new costume? It looks like somebody threw up a bunch of Starburst all over. And, and Nightcrawler's about to say what he really thinks, and she gives him that little shock with the bolt of electricity. And she says, you can't say anything nice. Don't say anything all. And then she says, Verstehen, like in his language, do you understand? And he's like, yes, ma'am. So she's really, she shows how she cares about Kitty. She shows how she takes her job very seriously, but most important is how the team reacts to her when she's in the field. I still love Cyclops. I still think he's a great tactical leader and everything, but Storm is very much an empathetic leader who understands her team better, I think, than Cyclops maybe did. And that really came out in the book for me.
So in a way, like, first I want to say, like, I love what you just said. It was great. And to add to that, like, it definitely shows you the different types of leadership, because you could never imagine, like, if Cyclops would have seen Kitty being down in the dumps or whatever, he would have been like, maybe I can get Jean to talk to her or something. We got a mission. But instead, like, Storm was like, nope, let me find something way to get her in the fray and let her know that she's still loved and valued and still a part of the team. And by the way, depending on the situation, neither of those leadership styles are bad. It's exactly who Cyclops is, and that's exactly who Storm is. But it's so, to credit Claremont, he has been developing Storm for years to be this person. She's always been kind of empathetic, but you can kind of be empathetic, and this is not a slight on anyone by saying this term, like, but it could be like Flower Child empathetic. Like, okay, I'm just generally empathetic towards all souls. And she kind of is, but she's also very personally empathetic too, towards each individual person. It's like, not I love everyone. It's like, no, I love you, and this is how I love you, and I'm going to show you that I think you're a very special person by loving you in this certain way. So that just shows how awesome Storm is.
Yep, 100%.
I prefer Cyclops. Anyways,
he would have said, get that crap off and get your assigned uniform back on, young lady.
No, in all honesty, I thought about it. I was like, what would Cyclops have done? And I think it would have a much different outcome, because I feel like he would have said, you're not supposed to be here. Stay on the plane. Do not get off the plane. We will be back. We will tell you when we're going to leave. Do not get off the plane. We're going to go take care of this. I think his need to protect her would have overridden everything else, plus the annoyance of her. That's my guess. Just in the Cyclops headspace, I think she would have never gotten off the plane and been told to wait there until they left.
I agree with that.
And maybe that's not the right call now that we see how it played out.
Yep. For safety reasons, he would have said stay on the plane. And if, let's just say that Cyclops never left the team and he was here on this mission, so how Claremont would have introduced her into it, like, she already snuck on aboard and she would have gotten mad, and it's like, well, I'm a valuable member of this team, and she would have snuck out anyway and done it.
Yep. Probably so. No, I think, as much grief as I give Claremont, in all seriousness, I think he does leadership writing really well with different styles and whatever. And I've mentioned on this program many times, I really do like the Storm era, especially when she gets even more, I don't know what's the word, when she gets the mohawk. Jaded is too strong a word, but she gets a little hardened, a little battle hardened into the 80s. And that's my favorite version of Storm and her leadership. And because like you were saying, Dalton, she kind of has a Flower Child vibe about her. She will lose a little bit of that as time goes on, because leadership will do that. It'll harden you. And yeah, it's good. He just writes a really good journey of leadership, I think. So yeah, full props there. My high, I got a high for you guys this round, is I was annoyed at the beginning because I saw the whole Kitty Pryde thing coming a mile away, and I thought she was just kind of being annoying in general, rocking them roller skates.
She was not giving those roller skates up, though, was she?
No. But my high I was like, oh, okay, well, Claremont's doing a very cool thing, and reconnecting with something that we read, gosh, a year ago, maybe, the whole Garrock thing, and it was neat to revisit that because I remembered all that. I remembered the volcanic explosion, and Magneto has apparently had a hand in all that, and I was like, this is okay. Yeah, this he's tied it back in such a way that it made it easy for me to remember it, and I thought that's pretty cool. So that will be my high. Will be his long-term continuity. That's one of the benefits you get out of a deep storyteller like Claremont. He tracks his pens pretty well, I think. So I was impressed.
And to continue the theme that we were mentioning with Amazing Spider-Man, there's no drop off, right? And that's refreshing.
Yes. I don't think we've had. There may have. Maybe a filler, like the one with Man Thing might have been a bit of fillery, but
I was afraid this one was going to be a filler issue when I first started reading it, when Professor X is going through his computers and talking about their battles with Magneto. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a filler where we're going to get all the Magneto backstory in preparation for the next arc. So I was really happy when it didn't turn out to be that. I was like, oh, Jared's just going to have a field day with this one
too, because I mean, I looked at the cover 149, so they're building to a 150 is going to be something special. So I was like, yeah, they're going to spin their wheels on this one. And to Claremont's credit, it's a little bit of a wheel spin to get us to 150, but it's like, hey, you know what? Let's revisit the whole Garrock thing that I kind of left that one dangling, almost pun intended there. So yeah, it's he very clever. I think it is filler, but I think it's really cleverly disguised. Get a little mileage out of the filler.
It tied into the overarching, and they've been doing this for months now, of Magneto's coming. And it's like, okay. And so like it was starting with the advancement of that storyline was, okay, I'm going to send y'all back to his old HQ. I want to check that out. And who knows why? Maybe Professor X had a specific reason why he wanted the team to do that, and that's yet to be revealed. Because I don't believe I've read 150 before, so it's completely up to the Crusaders Club to let us know what we're covering next month. But if we do read 150 next month, I can't wait to find out why and Professor X did that. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, it's double size, so I'm sure they're gonna stick me with that one, but anyway,
and it's X-Men.
Double size X-Men next month, maybe we'll see. Oh my goodness. Whose turn is it? Who starts?
I think it was me. You.
I started.
Go ahead,
Delvin.
I started. Of course, it's like I started. It's me. It's my turn. Delvin, I have nothing to say.
There's not a lot left in this.
No, there's not. I'll just give a quick high to the action. The action of the book was also very good. They did a great job of keeping Garrock in the shadows, but it was very fun seeing how delicate the action was. It was a good showcasing of Kitty's powers. I hate the name Sprite, so I'll probably never call her that. I just don't. I get it. I know what a Sprite is. I don't like the name. So whoever made the decision,
you make me laugh. All crazy things you do.
So when they went ahead with Shadowcat, I like the name Shadowcat. Shadowcat's a cool name. But yeah, the action overall was good. It was cool how some of the X-Men got knocked out of action, and so the other ones had to cover down on them and make up for those shortfallings. So it was a great team effort overall in order to defeat a very powerful foe. That was cool.
Agreed and well said. Jason.
We touched on it, but I really like how this issue shows the continuity of the storyline. We kind of open up with the X-Men still trying to repair the damage from the alien attack that Kitty had to fend off, but destroyed the entire danger room in the process. And so they're coming together as a team to do that. Kitty's still trying to find herself. And I think that's an interesting aspect of it. Like a lot of teenagers in general, be teenage boys or teenage girls, trying to find their own unique identity and really overdoing it with the costume. and kind of the family dynamic, and you kind of see them all continuing to bond together as a team. I thought it was interesting that Angel was not in this book. He really kind of feels like the odd person out now, which is ironic because he was one of the founding members, but in my opinion hasn't quite found his footing with this new team. And and we talked about how we see Storm continue to grow as a leader, and then that action piece of it, it took the five of them working together as a team to defeat Garak, who's a very powerful villain. I don't know Magneto, but not too much of a step down from Magneto. So all in all, I really appreciate the continuity, how they're continuing to develop characters. And it's something you don't even really see that much these days, where you'll have teams come on to a hero's book or a team book and they'll stay for a while, and then another creative team will come aboard and just kind of discard everything and start again. That seems to be the new way things are done, and I appreciate this this older Claremontian style, if you will.
Yeah, it's all right. So I will add that you just mentioned the continuity, which I mentioned earlier as well. Like we're all very pleased with the continuity. And I want to say the Garak story, maybe I'm wrong. Was the Garak story a Cockrum? Might have been a burn. Can't remember.
I think it was still
Cockrum. I think it was Cockrum.
Because that maybe that gave the vibe too, that like it just feels so connected because it was the same artist that did it. But I want to focus on the art. Cockrum and Rubenstein are amazing. And again, I read these in the essentials, so it's black and white. So I get to really enjoy the pretty much flawless penciling and ink work, and just all the different things they have to draw, from the tech to the characters to the, dilapidated tech to all that. So just, we kind of raved a bit about the art in Amazing Spider-Man earlier. I want to really rave about the art here. There's just, I have my pluses and minuses with Claremont, but man, his art teams just, they give him the cream of the crop. And if it'd be easy to pick up X-Men, even if I wasn't the biggest on the stories. And as you guys have noticed lately, I've been enjoying them more. But it's so easy to pick it up even if you just want to look at the art, because it's so good. It's really incredible. So I will definitely take my second and final round with a high and just say this art stuff is really solid. All right. Any Pat points? Any burning highs or lows? Okay. Well, with that, it's time to go into the extra mile. Who went the extra mile in this issue for you guys? Who stood out? Who had a day? Who was living their best life? We'll start with Jason.
I'm going to go with Storm. I know it's probably not the obvious choice in this book, probably not the one that Claremont was focused on when he wrote the book. But for me, I'm just enjoying watching her grow as the leader of the team and seeing the team continue to gel around her. She accomplished her mission. She got her team out alive, defeated a tough villain, and lived to fight another day. So good job for Storm.
I considered Storm as well, but she told a bold-faced lie in this issue. I don't know if you caught it. She didn't say it out loud. It was a thought bubble, but she said, "I wish Warren was here." Nobody's ever thought that. Delvin.
Yeah, she's an empathetic leader. He's just pathetic.
Yeah,
the angel hate continues on the Longbox Crusade. Yeah,
there's empathy, and then there's just like, no, like don't be bleeding heart about it. Really, nobody.
When I am certain that Robin of Batman and Robin fame can take you down, come on, man.
Like, hey, I need a giant fan real quick.
Look, I got wings, I can fly. And then Robin just hits him in the face with the bow staff. Game over, Warren.
Ow, my nose.
Even that trap that we saw in when we saw him in that trap that the Doom set for him, it's just like, oh, all I have to do is fly better.
Man, oh man. Yes, the angel hate continues. Let it flow.
One more real quick. And then it's like, okay, here's your exercise. All right, you have to escape this room. Oh, cool. There's no traps in here. Without your credit card. No!
What would have been better is if Doom had like just panes of glass and like a bird, he just bonk right into him. Anyway, Delvin, you're gonna pick an extra mile.
So I'll go with, since Storm was taken, I'll go with Kitty. In that she has, in Claremont's own inimitable style, he still has her as that gangly, clunky, awkward teenager, but she's starting to prove her worth out in the battlefield. And I appreciate it on any number of things. I mean, she already did it when she took out, I'm going to forget the nightmarish alien-like creature, whatever that thing's name was. She already proved her resourcefulness and intelligence and worth in the battlefield, which is definitely different from just run-of-the-mill intelligence, which she continued to prove that here against a more powerful foe, where she was outmatched. She didn't panic. She went ahead and did what she needed to do to save the day, and she understood her strengths and limitations. So all those lessons that Professor X and company are teaching her seem to be paying off. What do you think, Jared?
I gotta agree with you too on that, because I was just thinking about how she had, you said, strengths and limitations, and she pushed herself beyond what she thought she could do at one point. Basically held her breath, I guess, as she moved through a solid object for quite a long time.
Lava.
Yeah. Yes. So that was cool. But at the end of the day, when I just think back on it and who had the big play, I'd say Storm. I'd say it's kind of Storm's issue to be the leader again. So I'll be unoriginal. Just Jason and I will be two cool guys, and Delvin can just be a chump, I suppose.
Kitty chump. I do want to add one thing just about the Storm thing. We're about to come up on 150. We discussed that, but so the cool dynamic of it though will be, however they face Magneto under whatever circumstances, it's going to be with Storm leading the team. And it's going to be with Storm leading the team with Cyclops having to possibly take orders from her. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, the two paths look like they are about to merge once again, which makes me happy. I like to see Cyclops be part of this whole mix 'em ups again. I did like that though, where he's like, well, I've had this blindfold on, so Magneto probably doesn't know it's me. And Magneto's like, Scott, hey, Scott.
Dude, wear a visor. That's how I normally see you.
We have fought like 8 years at this point. I know who you are, dude. Like, come on, man. Are you stupid?
It's good times.
And then Cyclops was like, Angel, help me. And then Magneto's like, really? And then Cyclops was like, no, not really.
No,
and then
that was for both of our benefits. And they just laugh together.
Oh, man.
Oh, Scott. Oh, Magnus.
Oh, that was a good one, buddy. All right. Let's go ahead and rate this issue, and then we'll get Pat's thoughts on it, and then we'll be winding this sucker down. You know how the rating system works. 1 to 5. 5 means you loved it, gave you a ring to swing from. A ring to swing from. I can say it. 5 means you loved it, and it gave you a ring to swing from. I gotta give Pat credit for reading that over and over again. That's not easy. 4 means you really liked it. 3 means you liked it. 2 means you did not like it. And 1, you hated it. Turned you into a baby. Scale of 1 to 5. This Scarrock, the dead shall bury the living. Jason.
4. I really liked it. It's a bit of a filler issue, a teaser before the big battle, but it was really good. The environment was super creepy and cool, and it tied together the story really well. So 4.
All right, Delvin.
I'm with Jason. I give it a 4. It was a good story. I would think that in modern day comic books that they would have found some way to have a splash page of Magneto on that last page, as opposed to just Magneto kind of showing up like, yes, Scott, I know what you do.
What?
But I had on a blindfold, bro. How did you know? But good story, really good story. I am intrigued about what's coming up in 150. Should we read it? I don't know if that's the case. Jared.
Well, I started at a 3. Word count was getting ridiculous. Kitty was annoying, but the tying it back and the really solid art and just overall, it read faster than a lot of Claremont's read for me, and I did enjoy it. So yeah, I think I'm going to join you guys on a 4, and we will see if Pat is going to have us open the door this time. Boom. All right. Pat says, open the door, get on the floor. Boom, boom, like a boom. He rated it a 4. He said, this is a fun adventure. Great leadership by Storm. And by the way, it's just Garrock, Your Honor.
So, I think we covered all his points. I think we did a good job.
I think we are squared away. I love it. So solid 4s. And again, I think another thing that bumped my 3 to a 4 is kind of like the Spidey one. And I mentioned this earlier in our chat. I think this was a filler to get us to 150, but clever filler, like clever tie back, fun filler. And I will reward that.
We are able to see the difference between this is a storyline that you could argue has been building since the new X-Men hit the scene, like for 4 years ago. You could argue that. And it's just, but because like they fought Magneto, it was a high-pitched battle that the part of the X-Men team thought the other part of it was the X-Men team were dead, and they thought Magneto had died. And this is a continuation of that story to where it's like, okay, we're about to fight each other again, and we barely beat this dude last time. We don't know. And also, they even remembered like the whole nanny who was doing the feeding thing.
Right.
So tightly wound story. Tight. The storyline's tight.
Yeah.
So
tracks his pins really well.
And I'll add this last point of this. I can understand why now that X-Men, as we start moving further along into the 80s, became the it book at Marvel, and Spidey kind of retreated into the background a little bit, because like that continuity plus that spectacular artwork that continued, like allowed for it to develop into what it became.
Oh yeah, it dominated the sales charts from about mid 80s into all the way to like mid 90s, maybe even to 2000. This is Marvel's best-selling book for like a decade and a half. And a lot of it has to do with I got to give it to Claremont. Still doing it Claremont, as he's known in some circles. And that will bring it to the end of this part of the show. If you've got a comment or a question, of course, you can leave us a voicemail and we will play it on the show. Leave us a message at 707-532-5269. That's 707-532-LBOX.
Pick up the phone.
Pick up the phone. This is Angel. I'm saying it from far away.
Picking up them phones. We will be right back with Crusader comments and your thoughts and the closing of the show right after this.
Man, I don't even have a script, man. Let me bring that up and I can read that for you. I know how you feel about talking all the time.
I know, doing Pat duty has been rough. I was hoping you'd step in.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. I got you.
I got it here if you want to go.
You want to do it, Jason?
Oh, I've got it ready if you...
I have it ready, but you never do it, so go for it.
Okay. Welcome back from the break. Now let's get to the feedback part of the show where we share your comments, emails, questions, and shares in a segment called Crusader Comments. We are thrilled to kick off these comments with special shout outs to our Crusaders Club members. These are the fine folks that have joined our crusade. They enjoy early access to special Longbox episodes, voting to help determine show content, and so much more. So these are the folks reaping the benefits and giving some much appreciated support to the show. And I guess we'll start clockwise with Jared.
And Helica Wolf. Oh.
Auburn Elvis, who's joined us here in the chat.
Bill Beer.
Blast it or stash it.
Braxton or Underwood.
Captain Entropy.
Clark Westfield.
Clinton Robeson.
Dave the Battle Wagon Collins.
Ezra Gallo.
Gary Viola.
Gene Hendricks.
Gerald Green.
Jason King.
Jason Lady.
Jeremy L.
Jim Jarman. I hope you like Jim Jarman too.
Jim Meal.
Joe Thomas.
John Watson.
Drosh. I'm just making up names. Josh Strickland.
Candace Ward.
Kathy Bright, the MVP.
Mark Ross, a.k.a. Cluck Trent.
Matt and Lizzie Passo.
Maxwell Traver.
Miranda W.
P.D. Devons.
Paul Hicks.
Rick from Jeff and Rick Present.
Rob Morgan.
Samantha Maney.
Sean Urbanski.
Spidey 67.
Spreadsheet.
Steve Cronin.
Tim Price.
Tony Pennington.
And Toronto Cop. If we missed anyone in our list, we apologize. Keep in mind that we record these episodes well in advance of release. So if you're a recent addition, we should be adding you soon. Still, no worries. Just let us know that we missed you by sending an email to contact@longboxcrusade.com and we will get it all straightened out. As a reminder, you can become a Crusaders Club member by heading over to patreon.com/longboxcrusade. For as little as $1 a month, you'll get a little bit of access to the amazing world of the Crusaders Club.
Hold on. Wait.
What? What's wrong?
It's not just a little bit of the access. Like, we don't do that angel thing where we're just hovering above.
What?
We give all.
For $1? Yeah. No, $1 just gets you a little bit, right?
$1 gets you all the access.
All of the access.
I'm sorry, folks. This is why Delvin normally does this. For as little as $1 a month, you'll get access to the amazing world of the Crusaders Club. Come check it out. I thought it was a misprint, fellas. I'm sorry. Don't have any extra scratch laying around, but still want to help us out here at LBC headquarters? Please take a moment to write a review on Apple Podcasts for this podcast. Even if you just want to keep it short with just star ratings, it helps raise the profile of the show, and we will share your review on the next show. And we have social media shares and retweets from Amazing Spider-Man Chronicles. Yep, here we go. Amazing Spider-Man Chronicles episode 72, February 1981, where we covered Amazing Spider-Man 216 and Uncanny X-Men 145. We had over 200 likes for this episode. So we had to, like we said, we're paring it down. So if you want to get your name on here, you gotta hit that like, share, and retweet, or just give us a rating or something. Gotta get a little extra mile.
Give us $1.
Give us $1.
Give us $1.
I'll read it in bold. I'll shout it out from the rooftops. All right. We'll go clockwise again. And Jared, you can kick us off whenever you're ready.
No problem. These are the folks out there doing that whole share and repost and all that stuff. And it starts with Chris at BTO and Bat Books.
He's back. He's back.
Let's go
down the highway.
Roll, roll, roll.
I gotta wipe it.
Oh man, that felt good.
Oh man,
it's been a minute. Thanks for coming back, Chris. Oh, I'm next.
You're
Sorry,
up next.
I got so excited. We actually aren't faking this. We truly do care, like that you guys come back and pay attention to the show. Like we genuinely do. So there's that.
Man.
And we just got a comment, by the way. Gotta add this. It's from Johanna Alberic, who says that Jay is Jared's biggest fan. Jay is Jared's number 2 boy, though. So Jared's got some pride.
I was Jay's favorite. What? You told me I was his favorite.
Well, I'm sure Uncle Jason is a close second. I would hope so. Anyway, coffee and I shouldn't say anyway, because we of course value and love Clint Robeson as well. So featuring Coffee and Comics from Coffee and Comics blog.
One of us is his secret Santa. Scotty Cameron.
I'd rather be reading comics. That's the guy's name. That's not. I mean, I would. It's both.
We have CH at. I'm not gonna even read that. Look, Montana State guy. I don't know. CH.
Thank you, Charlton Heston.
That's right. I like your comics. That's my Charlton Heston impersonation. Anyway, Tim Price.
Speaker of the House, Kirk Spencer.
Jim Meal joining us here in the chat.
Omar Fall.
Anton Mausopust III, which is fun to read.
All right. Well, we had a couple of social media comments, and Delvin, why don't you? We'll keep going around the horn here. You just pick one, whichever one you want.
Sure, absolutely. Let's see. I will go with Scotty Cameron's comment, who says, "Amazing Spider-Man plays on double entendres on the word race. Well, it looks like the LBC has done so with Victor by having Victor Von Doom emerge as the Victor on an X-Men cover alongside Spidey cover with Victor on the blurb. Some Hello Zep moments with Jared and Jason." And so we had a whole discussion about what the heck a Hello Zep moment is. And it was from the movie Saw, just in case you didn't know that, because I didn't know that. I don't know if y'all know.
I didn't know that either.
I guessed it in the response. I was like, is that a Saw reference? And he reminded me that, when he reveals the big plot twist, hello, Zep, and then he tells him the whole plot twist. It's all about big plot twist. Anyways, Jason, your turn to comment.
Oh, I'll go down here. I don't recognize the. Oh, this is Auburn Elvis. Okay, I see from my burner account. I guess Auburn Elvis is living that kind of life. He says, "I know the plot point of the marathon race, election race, got a few eye rolls. But consider that if Spidey had not confused the two, a whole lot of people would have gotten injured or died during the marathon. Maybe Madam Web phrased things that way on purpose." I think I made a comment on that similar on the show.
And I actually said that. I said that to him. I guess like Jason made that comment. You unoriginal bastard. And
what?
And Auburn Elvis came back with something that was very classy.
Yes, he said you got to steal from the best.
There it was. Yep.
I wonder how many karma points Madam Web would get.
I was thinking about that actually, and it reminded me of The Matrix, the first one. how in order for Neo to become the one, the Oracle had to tell him he was not the one.
Right.
So he wouldn't care anymore. He'd be willing to sacrifice himself because he's like, I'm not the one, so I can just whatever. And by being whatever, he became the one. I thought that was fascinating.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Anyways, I guess I should pick a comment, and I'm going to actually do a little bit of a cheat, but I want to give a shout out to people who have commented that we haven't heard from a lot, and they're real fast. We had Leon Angel Quintero say yes, and we got a big thumbs up from Stanley Alston and a big whoop from Scott Sarton, and Tim Brown said I had both of these issues. So those are some first timers. I just wanted to wrap in there real quick. Just people who are excited to see this. Like I said, it's got over 200 likes. It got shared a lot more than some of our others. And it was neat to see new names being excited about the comics in the chat.
Heck yeah. Welcome everybody who took time to do some shares and retweets. We really do appreciate that. Hope you stick around.
Yeah. And you can call us and leave a voicemail that will play on the show. You can leave us a message at 707-532-5269. That's 707-532-LBOX.
I was on mute. Pick up the phone.
Pick up. I was kidding. I faced through the mic.
Sorry. It's got bits and bits tonight.
All right. Well, thanks to everyone for the likes, shares, follows, and comments. We appreciate your friendship and help in spreading the word about this podcast. Now, pass it on back to Jared.
And that's the show. Be sure to check out the website, longboxcrusade.com, where posts will be made for journaling this crusade along with Pat's nudes. I want to thank Jason and Delvin for joining me on this episode. But before we go, where can the listeners find us on the internet? Delvin.
Twitter.com/X DEE_RAY1977. Instagram, Delvin Ray. What about you, Jason?
You can find me at Jason Albrecht on Threads or on Instagram. Jared.
I am at Yard Sale Artist on X and Facebook and Instagram. You can check out my art at www.theyardsaleartist.com. And if you want to wish Pat a speedy recovery, or more so his wife a speedy recovery as he's helping her out, you can reach out to him on the X/the Twitter at Christatos01. That's Christatos with the K. And we'll be back with some more Doing It live stream, second Sunday of the month most of the time. There's always the Mother's Day month or when other weird holidays. You know what? Just stay tuned. We'll be around. We'll do these live streams on some Sundays. And they're at 3:30 Central. And we'll chat. And we'll have fun. And we'd love it if you subscribed to the channel. If you've not already subscribed to our channel, it is slowly, steadily growing. We've seen a lot of good growth. Liking the videos helps. Commenting on the videos really helps as well. So get in there. Even if you're like, I don't want to comment, go to the comments and write, I don't want to comment. And that'll be fine.
Take a building full of people hostage and don't let them go until they like it.
Yeah, it's that easy.
Subscribe.
That's simple.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Our legal department, which is Laurel, just sent this in. Do not take a building full of people hostage.
She wants to see me again, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does. Not in a good way.
You have to go to the her department, Jason.
Thank you all for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Amazing Spider-Man Chronicles. We miss you, Pat. And as always, you can email us, contact@longboxcrusade.com. And you can hit us on the X and the Instagram and the Facebook and the YouTube. It's all Longbox Crusade. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, take care. And please join us on the next episode as we continue on the crusade to
read them all. Miss you, Pat. Feel better seeing Melinda.
All right. It's time for giveaways. Giveaways.
Give it away. Give it away. Give it away now.
All right. How many people in the chat, Delvin?
6 who responded. I'm seeing 10 watching right now, but only 6 people commented.
6 commenters?
Yeah.
So we got Hines, we got Kathy, we got Billy, Jim. I'm doing this from memory. Courtney, Kathy.
And your wife's in there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
let's
yeah. No,
let's rig it so she wins. They'll save me on shipping.
Save you on shipping.
Yep, I forgot to add her. You forgot Auburn Elvis, sir.
Not gonna forget Auburn Elvis. He missed his own karma count, which we particularly enjoyed on this episode.
I told him how good it was, and he then said, "Did you guys discuss the second issue because it wouldn't have made?" And I said, "No, we didn't talk about it at all."
We chatted about it more so, in the highs and lows segment than anything. But yeah, that was fun. We were all laughing. I know we're on mute when we're karma counts getting played, but we were all laughing when you did your karma counts for Aunt May.
That was funny.
It was.
Also, you missed a fun feature, Auburn Elvis. By the way, how many did we end up with, Delvin? 7?
7.
Okay, Courtney, if you can give us a 1 through 7, please, while we're jaw-jacking. 1 through 7, please, Courtney. I was gonna say Auburn Elvis. Oh, we did the thing where we tried to guess the karma count, and Jason won. Jason was surprisingly close on the karma count.
I was surprised how close I was.
Yeah. But yeah,
starting to figure out how he rates them.
While we're waiting on it, we've talked a lot about Marvel comics, but we're going to give away some DC stuff on this one. Let's see if I can do that. There we go. And a little more light so you can see it better. For the folks, you're going to get this nice collected trade of JLA nice Year 1 by Mark Waid, Brian Augustin, and Barry Kitson.
Barry Kitson, yeah.
That's a fun story. It's good. I think it's 12 issues worth of comics. It's pretty thick. And she picked number 7. So wherever your magic pencil lies, Delvin.
Jared. How thick?
Well done. Good, Antonio.
I don't even have to do it because like the way that like I do my list is like I set like a marker. And so like that marker, then I start the next name is where I start counting from 1. So that means the marker would be 7, right?
Right.
My marker was on Auburn Elvis.
Auburn Elvis gets the JLA Year 1.
That's a sweet story.
I remember enjoying it. I do remember.
Yeah, it's really good.
Good art too. All right, now I go to the Crusaders Club members, of which now there are 39 Crusaders Club
somebody's going to watch Fantastic Four.
As soon as we hit 40, Delvin and I will do the special episode just for you Crusaders Club members. We will watch the Roger Corman Fantastic Four, and we will do a review episode on it, just like we did for the holidays. I think the holiday special we actually watched live. This one we'll probably watch it and then just come do an episode discussing it. But we just need one more Crusaders Club member out there. So harass someone you know to join for as little as $1 a month. And so, Courtney, if you can get me a number between 1 and 39 while I pull up the Patreon page. And
at this point, I just want to watch the movie. It's been hanging over my head like the sword of Damocles. It's like just put me out of my misery.
Just a good job.
You can just watch it and then just be ready to discuss it if you're not going to watch it live.
I'll wait. I want to savor it, you know.
I want to appreciate your use of Sword of Damocles, by the way.
Thank you.
The prize will be an even thicker. This one's super thick. It's a showcase of DC Comics Presents. And it is super thick. It's volume 2, actually. And so if you guys know your DC Comics, this is like Superman. It's like Superman Team Up, basically. And it goes from, oh, goodness. Looks like there's 1, 2, 3, way more than I can count. There's a heck of a lot of issues in here.
More than 3.
Wow.
Sure.
It is hefty.
By the
way, there we go. I can just read the back. Issues 27 through 50 and annual 1. There's a lot of Superman in here. So get ready to read some Superman. She picked 39, which would be the most recent member using the Delvin. So let's welcome him. Let's give it to our most recent member. The 39th guy who joined is Clark Westfield. Let's give this to Clark and welcome him in. Thank you for doing that, Courtney, for being our numbers person. Clark Westfield, you are the winner. Awesome. Well, and Huey Ciamix comes in just under the wire. Good to see you, Huey.
Heck yeah.
Thank you for stopping by, my friend. We are just winding down. Anything left for the folks out there, folks? We got anything for them? Delvin, parting words?
Thanks for showing up. Like, we're always grateful for you. We are like truly like it. I'd had like I wouldn't say I had a rough night, but stayed out late last night. I was tired from this week or whatever, and I had to read the comics and got up. But like as soon as I start, like as soon as the lights go up, so to speak, like I'm not tired at all. It's like I just only think about hanging out with my friends and having fun with folks in the audience, and it really does make my day.
Concur, Jason.
Man, everything Delvin said. Yeah, this is the every once in a while I go, like this was a Sunday. It's like, wait, this is the second Sunday of the month. This is all
they come up fast when the month starts on a Sunday.
It's like, oh my goodness. I gotta get prepared but you get a little stressed out beforehand, but you read the comics and then it's just always so much fun when we get on here and just start yakking and talking about that stuff that we love so much. So it's just really fun to do it in front of all you folks that come on and spend your Sunday with us. We really appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. I agree with both the fellas. And I'll just remind you that we will be back again here tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central. That's 4 Eastern. With me and a special guest, we're going to talk about the movie Gargoyles from 1972. It's on one of our little specials we call it New to Me. So I'd never seen it before. It was new to me. So we're going to talk Gargoyles from 1972 right here on this channel tomorrow at 3 o'clock Central. And then the next day, Delvin and I will be here at 7 Central, 8 Eastern, talking New Warriors for Come Out to Play 32. And then on Wednesday night, the crew will be together recording for On Her Majesty's Secret Podcast, doing some James Bond chat. And then Thursday night, Jason and I will be recording the Halloween Film Face-Off episode for this month, or Horror Film Face-Off, whatever you want the H to stand for in the month of October. So look forward to that coming out on Halloween. Jason and I are going to do 2 spooky movies, and we're going to be joined by Mr. Jim Meal. So that'll be fun. That's what we got coming up this week. We hope to see you around the interwebs. Stop by and say hello. We always appreciate you guys. And until next time, read them all. What's in your long box? Keep your head down and your knuckles up till all are one. Yo,
Warriors
Joe.
come out to play.
Bye. Everybody has pros.